My kid will be like, so I'll be in the middle of a voiceover and I just do them on my phone for like social media. And they'll walk through and 9 times out of 10 they interrupt and they'll be like, oh, sorry. And I'll be like, that's okay. And then I go start to record again. And then last night, after our last episode talking about sharing our kids, I am going to throw my son under the bus because he's old enough to know better. Come on, he's a freshman. So he walks by, he interrupts, and he's like, oh, sorry. And then he sits down and he starts playing with like these blocks that we have, like acrylic blocks. And so I hear in the background like rattle, 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 rattle. And I look over and he's like, oh, you can hear that? And I'm like, yeah, bro. And then he'll also come and sit down with like headphones on and he'll be singing along to the thing. And we'll look over and he'll be like, what? And it's like, we can hear you.
Yeah.
You are making sound. Like the thought that
I love when headphones are on and they think like my 4-year-old, whenever she has headphones on, she listens to that Tony box, which are way too loud. Why do they make those so loud? And she'll come in and she'll be like, Mom, I need help, but just at a decibel I'm not going to do. And we're all like, Finley, we can all hear you.
Yeah.
We can all hear you.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I get the loud thing. I don't know. I feel like he's too old. He's always so surprised when we'll be like, no more, because it's usually rap or something that no one wants to be listening to.
He's surprised every time.
Yeah, every time. It's like, just go in the other room. Welcome to Just for Moms. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Callie.
We are regular moms
talking about regular stuff like
aging,
parenthood,
work-life balance,
and figuring out what's for dinner again.
A no-judgment zone to talk, laugh,
and maybe cry
about all the things women think about on a daily basis.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Just for Moms. Callie, Megan, Charlotte, Caitlin. I don't have a great starting point other than today I was walking Arthur to the bus stop and it was so crisp and beautiful and like leaves were down and it was the first day that I was like, this is fall. And it got me thinking, is there any one specific thing that when fall arrives that you guys are like, oh, this is like we're going apple picking, or is there one specific thing that you guys do to commemorate the season, or is it sort of everything you would imagine? I don't know, Megan.
So definitely the apple picking. That's like a must. But me personally, I love the wine slushies in the fall from the vineyards. I don't know if you guys have had them, but they are amazing, off the charts. They can mix them with different flavors and kinds, and they're so good. I mean, you got to be careful. I have like 2 and I'm done, because they're good.
Wow, that feels like a summery thing, but I'm thinking of like a frosé. This is a little different.
Yes, they call them apple slushies, and I've had them with girlfriends. And then like when Joe and I went, we're with our kids, so it's, we'll each have one. But like when you're going with your girlfriends, you're really enjoying them, Because
I've never been to a vineyard around here.
Yes, there's one up by you, Caitlin.
Yeah,
right?
There's 2 in my town. In Paradise Hills, they do wine slushies. We just had them at our Celebrate Wallingford last weekend. I didn't get to get
amazing?
one.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I've had them in the past. This time I didn't get to get one because I didn't venture out of my tent. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you have anything, Caitlin?
It's like I always. Fall's here, let's go apple picking, but it's hot. And fall's here, let's decorate outside, but it's hot. You said the thing about it being crisp and cool, that I bought stuff to make pumpkin muffins. It's the easiest recipe in the world. It's ginger spice cake mix, a can of pumpkin, and applesauce. My kids think they're delicious and amazing, and they're so easy to eat if you do the mini ones. I feel like we need to do that before we do anything else. And making a pot of chili. Those are both like fall to me.
Yeah, I love that. Also, I'm noticing all of you 3 are wearing stripes. Thanks for keeping me out, guys.
Oh, we text about it just behind your back. Let's all wear stripes and not
keep her out. What is yours, Callie, aside from stripes?
Yeah, I don't know if I have I don't know. I mean, I love to get just such a stupid basic woman thing to get a pumpkin spice latte just because, you know what I mean? And I do love all the fall foods, but I have to wait till it's cold enough to like make chili and to make butternut squash soup and like to do all of those. I can't, just because it says it's fall, I can't do it just because. But I do. I feel like it's all mostly food related for me. And I don't know if I'm like a fall Grinch, but I don't like going apple picking.
Fair.
It's always too hot. There's too many bees, and you pick 3 apples and then you're done. And it was just a lot of work. And so,
It's like
oh my God,
$100 for like
Yeah.
3 apples.
Yeah, when they're little, we haven't been for a while, but my second is bugging us. And when they're older, it's just like, I don't know, if you get lost, like we'll meet you over at the tractor in an hour. Like,
yeah, I'm in on the blueberry picking because that takes a while, you know?
yeah.
It's just hot for blueberries. But yeah, I just like my son keeps asking when we're going to go apple picking this year. And I'm trying to like be like, we already did it. And like hope he doesn't. He knows,
Remember?
but I don't.
Remember?
Just hoping that the moment passes because I don't want to go.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
bought
I have. Go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say we had so many apples because my toddler insisted she carry a bucket, and then the
Yeah.
older girls are like, well, wait, we need a bucket, and she's gonna put sour mushed up apples in there. So we came home with $45 worth of apples, and I'm like, I'm gonna make apple crisp.
Yeah.
And then it got hot, and then I had to go to work, and then they sat on the counter, and then everyone ate most of them, and then the other ones got mealy. The
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
But we did it because the kids
freeze
wanted
them.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have to say, if you need pumpkins, Costco has amazing big pumpkins. And if you go to, buy them at a farm, I feel like they're triple the price. So just
So much money. Last year we went to a
expensive.
farm and we spent like $300 on pumpkins and we're like, wait, what? So this year I bought them all at Big Y for like $50, all of our pumpkins done. They're beautiful. They're huge.
We've
That's another
started
one.
going
Miles keeps
to.
asking when we're going to go to the pumpkin patch. I'm like, we're not, buddy.
we already went. You don't remember?
Yeah, we went last
Big Y.
time. Yeah.
We've started going to Stu Leonard's, and I've never been inside the building at Stu Leonard's. Like the only thing I've ever bought there is pumpkins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you got to go inside. It's great in there.
I know. I don't know. It's like not quite close enough to us. And when I'm there with the kids, we don't need to go in. And
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Same. It's
I
not
hear
close
you,
enough for me to
Charlotte.
go to.
Yeah.
We're getting a Trader Joe's right near us, though.
I'm jealous.
They're building one in Hamden, and it is basically like the best thing that's going to ever happen to the people that live in this area, because I either have to drive to Orange, which is could be 30 minutes, or to West Hartford, which is could be 40 minutes. And now there's going to be one 15 minutes from my house, and I'm
so jealous. I
So
don't
many
have Trader
pumpkins.
Joe's or Whole Foods in a 45-minute radius of me. So,
we're getting
Is that
one
your
of those
neighbor?
too.
huh?
Are those
is
the
that
lawn
your
people?
neighbor, Callie? Yeah.
No, there's not sound coming from me. Is there sound coming from me? It's not noisy here.
Or someone. I can't tell where. I'm there.
I hear it.
What do you hear?
It sounded like a leaf blower.
Oh, I thought, because I
They're
was
not
going to
out
say, I
today,
heard my
surprisingly.
my ice machine, because
Oh.
the ice
That's
in
what it
our
is.
freezer is not good enough for my girls. So now we have an ice machine that makes 3 different shapes and sizes.
That's what it is.
That's what you
I
hear.
went to
Sorry.
an event a couple of weeks ago, and they now have full refrigerators that make those perfectly round. Like, is that the ice machine you have?
Yeah, it makes 3 or 4 different sizes: big, medium, and then little
The little
small.
nugget.
Yeah, that they like that this week. Yeah.
So my fall, I think it's like all the basic bitch stuff, the pumpkin spice latte, chili. And then for me, I love when it's just cool enough and you can get the mums for the front planters and like hope that they're not just going to fry.
Yeah.
I've done a pretty good job with mine this year, but that's always for me. It's like, okay, I think it's cool enough that I can bring out the mums.
I have a question about mums. Can you tell me?
I don't know.
If you plant them, what happens?
I don't know that they will winter.
So
No, they won't winter, but they will live longer. There's actually people on our street here that planted theirs, and I was like, oh, that's actually smart because they're still alive when mine fried because I couldn't wait.
Well, yeah, the farm that we get our mums from, as we were checking out, the farmer said, we have these 2 racks over here. Go take 2 for free. And I was like, what's wrong with them? And they go, oh, well, they're just, they're kind of bonked around, and just plant them in your yard. So Brandon and Arbor planted them and they look beautiful. But I'm like, so then what happens though? When it's winter, do we dig them up?
No, I'm looking it up. Our mums, oh my God. There must be like schmutz on my keypad. When I went to type, it was like not even close. Yeah, I don't think you'll get them back, but maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's
Okay.
see. You'll have to keep us updated on what happens.
I will
Right?
let you know. The
Yeah.
moment-
Our
the
mums
moment of
annuals or perennials. Mums are technically perennials, but the ones commonly sold in the fall are often treated as annuals because they're heavily focused on blooming and may not survive the winter.
Mm.
Garden
Right.
mums, also called hardy mums, are true perennials and can come back year after year if planted in the spring or early fall.
Hmm.
Well, look at that.
There you go.
We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
Yep.
But there's also this sneaky, speaking of plants that we buy, and I finally learned this. Did you know that there's certain hydrangeas that come out like typically around Mother's Day? And they're called Mother's Day hydrangeas for this reason, because if you plant them, they won't ever come back. Like they won't die, but they won't flower really ever again. And maybe if you're a real gardener, you can figure it out. But I had a couple hydrangeas at the old house that never bloomed. And I mentioned it to someone and they were like, yeah, they're probably Mother's Day hydrangeas that they sell them because they look so beautiful in the spring. And then they
Yeah.
just
And then
don't,
that's it.
kind of.
That's lame.
You know what's
Isn't it?
interesting, Charlotte? Our hydrangea plant out here by the street last year, the landscaper by accident cut all the way down to the stems, right? So I
Yep.
was worried it wasn't going to come back. It came back, and I shared a picture on my stories. They are huge, like
Yeah.
huge this year, and like enormous. Someone was like, you should trim them and put them in a vase and dry them, and you could like keep them for like a year. I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, hydrangeas hurt my brain because I never know which is which, and you cut them on old wood or new wood, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. All
They're
that
so confusing.
so confusing. I don't have time for that.
No.
Okay, let's move into mom fails. Who has a mom fail? Callie, do you have a mom fail?
Yeah, my mom fails just, I feel like lately, I feel like I've said this one before, so it's just a recurring mom fail. I feel like I'm always feeling like I'm not giving my oldest son equal attention, which is just part of the course, right? Like I've got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old and then a 4-year-old. And so he's just far more independent. But sometimes I just find myself feeling really guilty about it. And then sometimes like it gets to the end of the night and he doesn't even really bring it up. It's not, he's like, Mom, you don't spend time with me. But I don't know. I'm just feeling there's like this weird and I think it's just him growing up too. It's like weird feeling of him kind of like slipping through my fingers in some ways, which he's supposed to do. He's supposed to like get older, but I don't know. Like I'm like missing, he was my firstborn. So like I knew every milestone of his life. And then now I'm like, I didn't even know it was picture day. And so, like stuff like that. And so I'm just feeling like, am I dropping? And I know I'm not, but mom guilt creeps in either way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel that with our youngest because we would read aloud with all the other kids. I don't think we've read aloud. And part of it is that he just is happy to sit and like listen to his books. And I think we've even offered and he's like, no, I'm okay. But like, I can't remember the last time I read a book with him.
No, I know. And they all just get kind of different versions of us, which is fine too.
Yeah.
Oh,
hi,
a
Muffin.
cat.
Excuse me.
Wow, this is very exciting. I hope that everybody's watching this on YouTube.
Where's
get
Olive now?
Go
Now
get
we need
Olive.
Olive. Yeah.
He's
don't
gonna
want
bother me. My geriatric friend.
Okay. Caitlin, do you have a mom fail? Or no? Mom fail.
Yeah, no, I guess mine is pretty much the same as Callie's, except it's my middle child. It's like I actually don't know what's going on with any of them but my oldest. Like Arbor this morning, I'm driving her to school and she's like, what did the calendar say today is? Because I only drive her on Mondays and Thursdays. I was like, I don't know. I would have always known for the other two. And then Eiley, because I'm never I'm just not home a lot, or when I am here, somebody's making me do something. I don't know what's going on with her either. So yeah, I feel guilty. And I'm trying to make time for Arbor. I talked about that in a couple episodes ago, giving her that one-on-one time. So now I have to find it, I guess, with my middle child. But yeah, I'm really proud I remembered it was picture day because for the last couple of years I haven't. And I did today for my oldest though, because I remember everything for her.
What is yours, Megan? Do you have a mom? Mine's actually a little similar to yours, Charlotte. So Nico is 8. No, now 9. Oops, 9. He likes me to read with him, which I love to do. He reads to me, but we have a little problem. He asks me at like 4 or 5 o'clock, right? It's the end of the day. I keep falling asleep.
Yes. Have him read to you.
Like,
When he's reading to you, you fall asleep.
yeah. And
Well,
he's
that's-
like, Mom, can you, like yesterday, can we read together? But like, can you not fall asleep again?
Can you just pretend you're resting your eyes because you had a really long day?
Yeah, I just
Put on
that's the part
sunglasses.
of the day when you're like starting to get tired, and then you sit, which like once you sit, it's done.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah. So it's like I try to stay awake, or sometimes I'm like, just like elbow me if you don't know a word, right? And then I'll be like, where is it? Oh, yes, about. And then it's like back to sleep. But it's bad that I do it, but I just like, I'm so tired sometimes. I can't help it. So that's my mom fail.
No, it doesn't mean you don't love your child. Listening to children read is
Excruciating.
horrific. Yeah.
Night-night.
Yeah.
So my official mom fail is, so Halloween is approaching and my kids are beginning to figure out costumes. I still have 3 that do costumes. And for my middle girls, costumes is now like a group effort, which is great. It's super cute. I love it. But it also means that they, like, at some point they just started buying everything on Amazon, and that has never been the way that I've approached costumes. I've always been like, how can we make it, look, buy a mask and tweak it, and that's sort of my favorite part of Halloween. And then at some point that it's like I look in my cart is like one of them is going to be a boxer, and so it's like she can't be the only one with the handmade costumes. They're all getting the same shorts and the same gloves and the same whatever it is. And so I can't say no because it's a fun, cute thing. And all of these costumes are sort of clever and none of them are like slutty nurse. They're all kind of cute costumes, but it's like, I don't know where, like at some point it just got away from me. So now we're just buying Halloween costumes.
Yeah. Or Nico's changed his mind like 3 times. I have 2 to return. I'm just like over that. You just pick one. Enough.
And we did the inflatable costume. This is a PSA for parents everywhere. Just don't do it. Louisa's popped. She popped like walking into the classroom. It like snagged on the door. And so she was in tears before the parade. They can't use their arms. They can't hold the thing. It's loud. The batteries run out. Like they look funny. If you're a teacher and you want to do a relay race as a bunch of dinosaurs, that's fine. It's cute. Tee it up on social media. Go for it. But I just think kids and inflatable costumes, it just never ends well.
Yeah, no. And to go to the bathroom, it's a whole production. Yeah.
Forget about it. Okay, let's move into our topic. I texted you guys this morning because I was confident that we had talked about this. And the topic is how to foster or build independence with kids. I'm making the assumption that that is something that all of us are deliberately trying to achieve, but maybe that's not fair. Would you guys all say that like raising independent kids is something that you're deliberate about?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trying.
So I did a quick, like I did want to bring in some data, but I didn't get too carried away with it because I think I typed in some like, bullshit description of like, what is the importance of like children with independence? And the first thing that I got back felt like a home run. It said data indicates a significant decline in childhood independence with less unsupervised play and independent travel over the past decades, which I think jives with lots of things that we've talked about and experienced as parents. And I think what is most problematic is that this is contributing to potential mental health concerns. So while parents often want to foster independence, many are hindered by fears of child safety, concern about being perceived negatively, and perceived lack of readiness in their children. So we talked about this, Callie. I think it was your episode when we were talking about the Jonathan Haidt and the like let
grow.
Let grow, and
how
Megan's
episode about modeling social screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it was how like parents really do worry that if someone were to see like an 8-year-old walking around the street that they would get in trouble. So we've talked about that. And then studies show increased independence and risky play are linked to higher self-confidence, better problem solving, and improved mental well-being. So the things that, just to bullet point it, less unsupervised activity, reduced independent mobility. So kids aren't like riding their bikes to school or riding scooters to school, less risky play. And then the one that I think I see the most, certainly in my neck of the woods, is increased structured time. So these kids go from school right to 7 different activities, and there's never an afternoon when they're just sitting around like, what do you want to do, guys? So I guess, so I'm not just the one talking, because this is a soapbox that I pull out all the time. And I always caveat my own experience with, I think being in the classroom certainly hones your muscles for teaching independence, because you just have 18 kids and you can't physically meet all of their needs at any given time. Like, you have to encourage them to go tie your own shoe, or go see if you can find someone who knows how to tie shoes. Don't come to me. And then, I have a bunch of kids and they're close together. So there were definitely times as a parent when I just physically couldn't, I'm feeding a child, so I can't do what you need. Why don't you go try? And so that has become just part of our routine. But I don't know that it was something that I was as cognitive of as it was just like a means to the end. So for the 3 of you, what are some things, like, how do you feel about independence with your kids, and what are some things that you have done to sort of be deliberate about teaching it? What do you think, Caitlin? I'll start with you.
So I can't pinpoint the first time I was like, okay, you know what? So-and-so is going to do this by themselves because I don't want to do it anymore. It's probably how it started, where I don't want to do this anymore. They should learn how to do this. And having 2 older children that are 5 and 8 years older than my youngest child, they could easily do nothing, but I wanted them to learn how to take care of themselves, to learn how to help take care of their sister. And so I wasn't just holding everyone's hand every single day while we did, our whole entire routine. So like I said, I can't figure out when things changed, because there was a significant change. I used to be the mother who did every single little thing for my 2 girls. But then when I had Arbor, I knew that, all right, Annabelle and Eiley need to remember to brush their teeth before bed. I shouldn't have to do this for them. They need to know how to go in the dryer and look for something that you're supposed to wear. And something recently I'm doing is I'm allowing, like, not bad things to happen, but like I'm allowing them to make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, with the hopes that they will become more independent and self-sufficient, and then not make that mistake again. So even something as simple as, I'm trying to think of something I did recently where I said, now you're just going to learn from this. My oldest forgot to bring a pair of shorts for cross-country practice, only wore leggings. It was going to be warm, was blowing up she can email me from her little Google Classroom. And I wrote back, no, you're going to run in pants, because you need to learn how to pack your own bag in the morning. You're going to be 12 years old. I think that's, important. But as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about how she walked into school the other day wearing sandals when it was raining, because she forgot she put sandals on, and had cross country after school. And instead of me being like, well, you didn't get yourself prepped, you got to go throughout the whole day with sandals and no sneakers, I did bring them to her. So, I pick and choose when I'm going to make her be responsible for herself. But I don't want my children to grow up and not know how to do anything, and to be waiting for someone to do it for them. I think it's really important that they know how to take care of themselves, and, yeah.
I think something you mentioned that I mentioned in my notes as well is just the notion of trial and error and making mistakes, and how that is how we fundamentally learn. Like, if I were to be like, slow down on the way to the airport, slow down, like, you could hear me say that until I'm purple in the face. It's not until you have those blue lights behind you that you're like, oh gosh, I should have slowed down. Like, I just think human experience and human psychology, we just sometimes need to experience things for ourselves. And so I think as parents, we're that much older and we're programmed to lead like a mistake-free life, and we're trying to impose that on our kids, but we've got to create safe ways for them to make mistakes, or else they're never going to internalize and learn sort of whatever lesson it is we're trying to impart. And if it's being responsible for your gym gear, then, sorry you were a little hot. That for me, that's a low risk learning opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is this sense of like ick, this sense of ick. I kept warning one of my children to prepare for a test that was happening, and she thought she did it enough, and she didn't, and her grade wasn't what she wanted it to be. And I said, okay, well, this is a learning. Like, I'm not mad. This is your get out of jail free card. This one time, I'm not mad. But next time, I try to, show you how you study for something. I'm modeling it for you. You got to do the rest, because I can't take your test for you.
Right. What are some ways, Callie, you have littles, so you're a little bit more in the trenches as far as like active engagement. What are ways with your little guys are you beginning to build and teach and model independence for them?
Yeah, I mean, some of it sort of like you said, Charlotte, I think some of it is like just my teacher brain clicks in a little bit, which I'm sure helps. But also just having 4 kids so close together, like you said, like I can't do everything at once. And so that sort of forces their hand to have to figure it out. But I feel like a big thing that I have found with at my kids' age is lots of times when it comes to independence, there's a lot of work for me on the onset of it. And then I get the benefit sort of later. So like an example would be like, I got to sit there for 20 minutes while my child like painstakingly is putting peanut butter on his toast. But then by the time he's 4, like that child can make his own toast. So I feel like a lot of it is that. And it's a hard balance, because like sometimes I just need to put the peanut butter on the toast because we got to go. But I try to find as many instances where like if I can give ourselves extra time to get out the door so that child can spend 30 minutes struggling with their shoes, by the time they're, old enough, they can put on their own shoes. So that's how I'm always thinking about it now. I'm always thinking about like what time can I put in now to let them sort of learn how to do this thing by themselves, so that when they're a little older, they can do it, and then it'll be great. And then another one that you brought up that I'm always thinking about is the natural consequences. So, I mean, I think about this with everything when it comes to just like basic discipline with my children. Like if they do something wrong, I'm not just going to say, okay, well, you don't get to watch a movie tomorrow, because those things aren't connected. Like whenever I'm doing something, I'm always like, what is a natural consequence to this? But I think about it with stuff like that too. I have a child who is horrible about putting their shoes back in their locker, and they have this one pair of shoes. It's their favorite pair in the morning. When they can't find them, like I might know where they are. I'm not going to go find them for that child. I'm not going to put them in the locker for the child. Like that's a natural consequence that you didn't put them. So I'm always thinking about those too. And sort of like you said, obviously there are a lot that are, minimal. They're not going to make the child sick, or they're going to be, but maybe you go to school and you're cold that day because you forgot your jacket. Or my first grader, the other day, he comes home, he's like, Mom, you forgot my water bottle. I'm like, that's your water bottle. I'm like, I didn't forget your water bottle. That's your water bottle. And now he hasn't forgotten his water bottle since. So stuff like that. I feel like a lot of it's a lot of effort in the front. It's easier for us to just do it, especially when they're little. Even when they're older, I'm sure it's just easier for us to just do it than to ask them to do it, or to follow up with them to do it, or to sit there while they do it wrong. But I feel like the benefits are worth it in the long run.
I lost it on my youngest is now 10, and he had like flag football practice right after school. And so he was going home with a friend who was then going to take him to flag. So before school, I said, do you have everything you need for flag? And he said, yes. And then I get a text after school that he's left his cleats behind. And so they're like, so we'll just swing by and grab them. And so when he got into the car after practice, I said, what happened? What about the cleats, buddy? And he was like, well, you didn't tell me to get them. And I was like, we're not doing this. And he was like, you told me to get my jersey and my helmet. I said, no. I told you to get the flag gear. Do not be. And I was like, that is insulting to me to blame me. Like, full well what you need to go and play flag. Like, don't even do this. Like he was trying real hard. I also think, and then I want to hear from you, Megan, I think that there's so many other things that are linked to independence. So I used to tell the parents of my kids, because I taught first grade, and that's a prime year for like, oh, let me help with your math homework, or let me help. And I was like, when you get in the way and do things for them, you are robbing them of the pride and satisfaction of struggling to get something done and doing it anyway. Or, maybe they don't finish it and then they have like that hard experience. You're taking away that opportunity for them to learn and grow from it. And I think they said it in the search results that like it's linked to self-esteem. So if your kid has spent 20 minutes making a peanut butter sandwich when they're 4, what they have learned is like, I can do hard things. This was tricky. I did it. And so then when they're 6, that's going to be something different. And then the goal is obviously when they're 17, 18, 19, 20, and something hard or challenging, they trust themselves. They know they can handle it, to say, I'm not going to, for me, it's always like, I'm not going to get in the car with the person who's been driving. Like, you go to these big things that are so much more important than whether or not they can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I do think that it's linked to self-esteem. I think it's linked to like problem solving. And again, every time parents swoop in and do something for their kids, they've taken away that like, oh, I wonder what happens if I put the bread on the wrong side of the whatever.
Or even, I always think about it, especially with my little ones, like I think about perseverance. Like that's,
yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? For me to take away that chance for them to like persevere through something. Like if I think about what I want my children to be when they get older, I mean, independent, definitely, but like somebody who can persevere is definitely very high in the list. And so 100%. Like, yeah, who am I to rob them of that?
100%.
I know Megan has to talk, but I just I've been sitting here thinking like, my middle child's been coming home and telling me their whole mission this year in her school is called Roots, ROOTS, and it's to help students grow roots at home. And the R stands for responsibility, helping your child take charge of routines and responsibilities.
Ownership,
openness, making space for honest conversations. Yes,
tenacity.
Nope. Thrive time, spending intentional time together as a family, and support, staying connected. So
they're like, we need a T.
Cool. I have notes for Thrive time, but I love the principle of it all.
Yeah. And so the first month for September, their goal was you had to make lunch for yourself, pack your lunch every day.
I love that.
And it was 3rd through 5th grade. Yeah. And I remember a parent I saw somewhere being like, my 3rd grader packed their own lunch. And I kept thinking, Eileen's been packing her own lunch since she was like in kindergarten. She loves packing her own lunch. But if your child has never done that for themselves, here's your chance. Model it, show them how it's done, and then let them take it over. So I just thought that was really cool. Roots.
I like that.
Growing roots.
Megan, your kids are older, aligned with mine. So what does independence look like for you, or has it looked like in the past?
So I will admit I'm not good at this, okay? I wish I could let go. As simple as it starts first thing in the morning here in our house. I ask children to make their beds, to put stuff in the laundry. I repeat things all the time. I don't mean to be a nag, but it's, simple things like the water bottle, the lunch. It gets put here on the table. All you have to do is put it in your book bag, right? I feel like I remind and remind and remind. And I have one that forgets a lot. So I try to be patient. Same thing. Like with the other day, one of my children, I'm not going to say who, they're old enough to get themselves ready for a sporting event. They had the wrong jersey on. And, I just was there with my mom and I'm like, Ma, they're old enough. Like, yes. I'm not going in the closet and putting out the jersey on the closet door. Like, no way, no how. So I just, after the game, I was like, you need to be responsible for that. There's no reason, like the coach didn't say anything. And she was like, oh, I said it. But it was like, oh, and you're right. I took full responsibility, but it's just, patiently reminding, and I am going to try what Caitlin said about packing their own lunch with my youngest. My other 2 do the hot lunch. And, where we live here, everyone can walk in town. They can walk to ballet. They can, walk a lot. So I feel like that somewhat creates independence with doing things, but also then it's like, I don't want to walk home from school. Can you pick me up? Like, I don't feel like walking. And it's like, no, you can walk from, where you need to go to your activity. And again, at night, I remind like Charlotte, hey, so you have dance. Do you have your stuff packed? Which would be the leotard, tights, shoes. Yeah. And of course, I always get text messages. Hey, I forgot this. Hey, I forgot that. So I just feel like for me, because I'm a helicopter mom, I'm going to keep trying to pull back, but create that independence. It's hard, but I just feel like there's always someone that forgets something in my house. Like,
And then the
I feel like
forgetting
it's hard.
thing,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the forgetting thing is, everybody forgets stuff. I forget
Yeah.
stuff all the time. It's more of taking ownership over whatever you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
If you're forgetting your homework at home every single day when you're going to school, I think in my teacher head, I'd say, well,
Yeah.
what do you need to do to change that so you can remember it? Your mom and dad don't need to tell you to keep bringing it every day. What can you
Yep.
do? Take ownership of your actions. And I want my children to grow up and do that instead of, I think there's a lot of adults who instantly look around to see who they're going to blame for certain things in certain situations. Maybe
Mhm.
because when they were younger, they were never taught, maybe it's your fault.
It's your
that
problem.
this-
I
that this
agree.
happened.
Yeah, no, and with the homework too. And I forget who brought it up. Maybe it was Callie, the teacher. With Nico, I've learned now, because he's my third, that the homework comes home. I step away. If he needs my help, I'm here, but I don't do it for him or with him. But if he needs me, I'm here. And then I usually like check it at the end. So I feel like I've pulled back. Where Ava, I probably did it for her, So I feel like it's kind of trickled down. And and it's funny too, because the independence, if they want to do something, they will do it. It's like this ice maker, I hate to bring this stupid thing up again, but one of my kids, it came in the door. She had it put together, ready to go 5 seconds, but can't clean her room, can't make her bed, can't help with the laundry, And I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I could have put this thing together. It looks kind of hard, but she figured it out. So it's like when they want to do it, they will do it.
And forgetting things is tricky too, because so if they forget something, do you ultimately bring it to them?
Yeah. I'm a sucker. Yep.
Okay. So then we all know the answer there is that there's no consequence for them because mom is going to do it.
Yeah.
But if you were ever to like, I don't know, come join us for drinks or a Taylor Swift dance party or something, like if they weren't getting these things, either the consequence would be like, I can't do dance that day. And that, for me, that feels like a safe consequence. Or like for some kids, their processing is such that they do need some help. And then to your point, Caitlin, are we creating, like when my kids were going off to school during COVID, there were so many things that they had to, like they were not allowed in the building without all the things. And so we had to post like a sheet that they could physically look at. And, when my kids were even little, maybe it was like a little thing that you would laminate and clip to the backpack that was like, do I have, I don't know, for dance, it would be like Leah, and they would just get in the habit of quickly checking on that list. So it is tricky with forgetting. Like if you're bringing it to them, then there's no consequence. And that's, but I think for me, like tips that I would like, things that I feel like I've done that have been successful. And again, a lot of it, when you have 18 kids in a classroom, you just have a chance to practice in a much different way than you do when you only have 2 or 3 kids at home. But there really isn't a moment when I'm not thinking about like, is that something my kid could do alone? Whether it's, making the sandwich or cleaning their room or making their bed. So I definitely have gotten, my muscles are such that the first thought is, do they need me or can they do it? And then when they were little, it was also finding ways to create opportunities for them to be independent. Like, will you go check the mailbox and see if the mail is there? Will you go put this in the mailbox? Will you go water the plants? It was thinking of things that there's no negative consequence if they screw it up. And then when they come back, it's like, oh my God, that was so great that you walked it all the way to the mailbox, or I think we did talk about this in an episode, the mom who asked her kid to go into the store and buy something. Like that's a perfect example of creating a way for your kid to successfully model and practice independence, because there's no, like, they're not going to fail. They're going to be great. And then, that becomes like, it just is this self-fulfilling or what's the word? It was reassuring, whatever.
And it's fun for them. And then they want to do it again.
Yes, exactly.
What I think about a little, like when Megan, we were talking about the forgetting, I do think that sort of an interesting piece here with some of this stuff is sometimes when your child forgets something, I think sometimes like we think it's going to reflect poorly on us as a parent,
Yes.
right? Like when Miles didn't have his water bottle, like, Miles's mom didn't have the water bottle, or if somebody forgot a lunchbox. So there is that piece of it too, where I think as parents, we worry how it's going to reflect on us. Or even at the very beginning, you were talking about risky behavior. When I go to a playground with my children, I feel like sometimes like a neglectful parent, because there are parents there hovering over their children on things that I am letting Tate just go for, because that's what I believe that they should be able to do. Like, I believe that he should be able to, if he can get up there by himself, like I believe that he should be able to. And so sometimes it's like you kind of have to step back and know, like, I know that some of these parents are probably like, that mom's not helping her child. She's not watching them, and, and stuff like that. Or like, Miles's mom couldn't pack the water bottle. So I think sometimes we have to kind of like step back from it too, because we worry that these actions of our children are reflecting on our like ability, our reflection as a mother or whatever. So sometimes, you kind of have to be willing to take it and be like, oh, yep, nope, the Bransfords didn't have the water bottles today. Or, I can't tell you how many times I've sent my daughter to preschool in pants backwards. And now her teacher gets it. I'm like, she dresses herself. You know what I mean? Like we have been trying to get this child to put her own pants on for 2 years. And if she puts them on backwards, oh, well, they're backwards. Like she did it herself. And it's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Letting kids get dressed and pick, like for me, that was the first thing that was, and there's nothing funnier than kids out. And P.S., if you're a preschool teacher and a kid has their pants on backwards, there's not a single preschool teacher on the planet that is like, oh my God, Callie doesn't even know what she's doing over there.
But you know how many times I've had grandmothers stop me in grocery stores to say, your child has their shoes on the wrong feet? And I just say, they put on their own shoes.
I was just going to say that Gianna did that for like 2 years straight. And all the photos, it's like you see it. And I just laugh because it's like she did it and I just left it because like it was great.
It's not uncomfortable, whatever.
You did great.
Arbor prefers her Crocs on the opposite feet, and people are still correcting her. And I'm like, she actually knows where they go.
Picked.
Yeah,
she wore the other day a 24-month-old dress to school.
Oh, right up.
Insisted that I would button it in the back. There were 3 buttons. I could only get one. And I couldn't tie the ribbon around the waist, nothing. She looked like Chris Farley, like a fat guy in a little coat.
So funny.
And I 100% looked at the preschool teacher when I dropped her off, and I was like, I know that's too small, but she doesn't care. And she's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I said, don't even try to button it. Just let her breathe.
It. Do you guys follow Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, on social media?
No.
She was in an event, and her newest product are these sneaker shoes. They're called like Sneaks or Snooks or whatever. Yeah. And she packed for the event, and she packed 2 of the same foot. So it's the shoes look the same, but she must have had 2 pairs. And so she was like, what do I do? What do I do? And so she put the 2 left feet on. She was like, be honest, like, can you tell? And it was like, it looked whack. But it made me laugh because the number of times we've seen kids in the grocery store, it makes my heart smile so big when I see kids look crazy like that.
Just let them live.
Let them live. Do you guys have any other sort of hot tips? I feel like we've sort of alluded and mentioned a bunch. I mean, I think just it's like training yourself to back off is the biggest tip.
I love what Callie said, because I'm guilty of this, thinking this is reflecting so poorly on me but it probably is not. No. So,
and the one person that maybe it is, like, not a judgment you need to worry about. Yeah. That person's like, Caitlin doesn't know how to put Arbor's shoes on the right feet,
Janice can suck it.
And they eventually figure it out. Like same with Nico. I think we talked about this, Charlotte. With he still doesn't really know how to tie his shoes.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
have one of those.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I bought the Melissa and Doug trainer thing. I've tried to sit. His sisters have tried. Eventually, he'll figure it out. And again, it's like I show him, but it's like, buddy, you gotta want it too.
You just got to do it. That's true. Okay, let's move into peaks and pits. I have the same one here, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to think on it. Do you know what you're going to say, Callie?
Yes, I have a peak. So we have dropped Opal to one nap, which means now Tate and Opal nap at the same time. This is a very big thing because for my entire summer and the spring, Opal would nap, Opal would wake up, Tate would immediately nap, Tate would wake up, Opal would, and I mean, you are just nap trapped. You are just,
Yes.
and now they're napping at the same time. And it's the most glorious thing that has ever happened in my life.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love this.
Megan, do you have a pit or a peak?
I have a pit. So our playroom has not been like deep cleaned in a good 2.5, maybe 3 years. And it's like a bomb went off up there because we're at the in-between stage where my teenagers don't play anymore. My son kind of plays. So it's just like, do we make it into an extra bedroom? Do we make it into a hangout? But Mom is also hanging on to the dress up bin because I'm not ready to get rid of it, but no one uses the dress up bin. So, I mean, it is just a shit show. Like there's stuff all over the place and we're renovating it finally. So it's just like going up there. It's just, it smells. There's leftover snacks. You step on stuff, you hurt your feet. I mean, it's just a disaster and it's so not like me to have it. And like, the other day, Joe was like, so have you been upstairs? And I'm like, just don't even talk to me about it, okay? Like, you go clean it then, you know? So that's my pit. I'll eventually get around to it because we have to finally renovate up there, but it's just, like, whatever.
It's your monocle closet.
Yeah, if someone else clean it, why is it on me to clean it, you know? Does anyone else want to help me do it? No.
Anyone? Bueller?
You got it all.
Caitlin, what is do you have a pit or peak?
I don't know. I was sitting here thinking, it's a pit. So excited that I worked really hard to build up a little mini photography business. And I worked for a bajillion years to build up a blog business. And then I just got a new job and good stuff's like happening in all three of those little areas, but there's no time in the day and in my life to do it all. And I refuse to give any of it up. So I call it a pit because I'm just like, be happy that you have all these things, but at the same time, I can't do it all. So yeah, that's just, it's not a real pit. It's just kind of like,
just a life.
Yeah.
Just a life. Yeah.
There's not enough time in the day. Yep.
No.
I have a pit too, but like I'm going to survive. It's not a big time pit. This house is pretty well unpacked and moved into, with the exception of like the basement and the attic where we've just like put the deep storage stuff that who knows. One of the categories of things that we have not unpacked, and I have no idea where they're going to go or what I'm going to do with them, are like winter gear. And like in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's just a few things. I think I found like 4 boxes at this point between the 5 kids. It's like boots, hats, gloves. Like I think there's a lot of it. And we have like a cute little back entryway with like a little closet and like a couple hooks. And then like we have all these little like cute spaces. But in the old house, we had like a basement room where I could put like shelves and bins. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this stuff. And every day we wake up and it's like, Mom, it's 39 degrees out. I'm like, none of you are going to have access to hats or gloves or scarves because I don't know where they're going to go. So that's my latest conundrum.
That's a fight for my life all of the time because we've never had a house that has like an entryway or a mudroom or any of that. It's I keep like snow gear in the basement.
Sure.
So it only comes out when it snows. And then that way I can the winter jacket, hats, and scarves, I can find places for those because they need those every day. And then because the bulky snow, like they don't need their boots unless
No.
it
Yeah.
snows.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it can't be prime real estate. Remember when we talked about prime real estate? Not prime
Yeah.
real estate.
I totally forgot that's about to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
Every year it
Oh.
catches me off guard.
Yeah.
I got
Did
one
your-
little it's like there's shelves, like cube shelves that hang, and so you can still use the floor.
Yeah.
And I think there's 5 little compartments. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, that'll be great. But then I keep finding these boxes that are labeled like winter gear. And I'm like, I think I'm underestimating. Like, I don't think each kid can fill one little cubby.
Yeah. Does your basement, like, would you, like, for us, we struggle with our basement, like, has that basement smell because it's not refinished. So we like jam all the winter coats up in Nico's closet because he doesn't have a lot of clothes. So could you put some of that stuff in the basement in like a locker? You know how like Callie used to have those lockers?
So I think we have room for like the coats. It's the gear, and the basement is not really convenient. So like you need a place that's like a little more accessible. It doesn't need to be like right inside the back door. And so it may just be, there's one closet. I put my coats in one closet and then Mark's in the other, just because I have so many freaking coats. It was just easier that way. So the closet that has Mark's coats maybe could absorb, but I don't know. It's like, I want future Charlotte to be dealing with it. And yet I know it's going to be like 20 degrees. And
then when the time comes, nobody will be able to find a match to their mittens. So
100%.
like, what are we even doing? Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's,
or they don't even wear the coats. Do your kids actually wear the coats, Charlotte?
not so much coats, but they definitely will wear hats and gloves and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And use the gear. I know it's a struggle.
Yeah. So, I'll survive, but that's on my mind.
Yeah. No.
All right. I'm intrigued by this ice maker because is it just always pumping out ice?
Yeah, and then they get off the bus and they make another thing, and then before bed, and then in the morning, it's like different ices. It's like so whatever.
I will say my local coffee shop switched to the little ice, and that is not the right ice for coffee.
No,
it
it melts too
melts too
I have
fast.
a lot
Jinx.
of opinions about it, so I won't be going back there for their little ice.
If I had a little ice machine, it would just reactivate my pica days from when I was pregnant, and I would eat ice all day long.
Oh, I did that too. Yeah.
Isn't that a bad thing with the little nugget ice? Because it's so
Bad for your
soft.
teeth.
Really?
Even the nugget ice, I feel like it's so soft. I mean, I guess
I-
ice is ice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe you.
Everything's bad for you.
Everything.
Everything.
Hose water.
Definitely hose water. That's a throwback to the previous podcast that is not even accessible on air because why would it be?
You guys missed it.
DM us if you want to know. Okay, we gotta go. As always, thanks you guys and your stripes. Next time, just let me know what the outfit is. I'll be ready. Okay. Bye.